Chariots of Fire was directed by Hugh Hudson and written by Colin Welland, and starring Ben Cross, Ian Charleson, Nicholas Farrell, and Ian Holm. The story follows two runners, one a devout Christian, the other runner is Jewish, and we follow each of them as they deal with the personal struggles of their faith, their family, their relationships, and training for the Olympics of 1924. So Chariots of Fire won the Best Picture Oscar in 1982, and I've been having a personal project to try to go through and watch all the Oscar winners. And honestly, I was kind of expecting more. I think this is a really flawed movie, and I think I'm going to start with just talking about the things that I liked. The performances. I think the performances from everybody in the cast is very serviceable. I think they all do a tremendous job conveying their particular characters. Technically, there's some beautiful exterior shots in the movie. The costumes are also really well done. I think they were period appropriate and they felt correct for everybody in the movie. This next thing's kind of in the middle for me. It's the score of the movie, which is probably the most famous part of this movie. I think if you ask anybody about Chariots of Fire, the one thing they're going to be telling you is that famous score of the do 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 do. But the thing about it is that it's wholly isolated from the rest of the movie. And what do I mean by that is that it's this weird synthetic score. It's very 80s, but the rest of the score is very classical. It's very standard. So you end up with this really weird one song that's really iconic and people remember it from the movie, but it isn't even used in the movie effectively. It shows up in the first 5 minutes of the movie. You get one shot of the guys running to that song, and then it's gone. It's gone. For the rest of the movie, it's gone. And we never hear it again. And so the most iconic part of the movie is just this song that has very little to do with the actual story of the movie. So while I think that one song is cool, it actually detracts from the overall effectiveness of the entire score for the movie. On to just the out-and-out bad stuff is the most disappointing part of this movie for me is the race scenes. This is a racing movie. It's about runners. They're running these Olympic races. These are supposed to be incredibly dramatic and really crazy and wow. But instead, they're all filmed in slow-mo. So instead of feeling like these guys are running really fast, we're filming the whole thing in super slow-mo, and it takes all the energy out of it. It takes all the suspense out of it. It just feels really goofy. And there's so many clips of the main guy in this movie running like a complete idiot. And he doesn't look powerful. He doesn't look fast. He doesn't look impressive. He looks really goofy. And it just takes away all the excitement of these racing scenes. And it's a racing movie. That's a horrible, horrible, horrible decision. The other incredibly disappointing part of this movie are the training montages. There's a couple of training montages because we have two different racers and they both are training in very different ways. But the montages are just so lazy. Like all we get are some cross-dissolve scenes of guys running on tracks or in streets or through some mud or something. And, that's about it. And the thing that drives me nuts about this is that Rocky won Best Picture in 1977. Rocky has one of the best montages ever. So how do you make a movie 5 years later or 6 years later that has a montage in it and you don't go back and rewatch Rocky to get a sense of how to do a great montage? But the thing that absolutely kills this movie, it really does completely destroy this movie's ability to be great, is the fact that it just doesn't know what kind of movie it is. Is this a movie about rival runners? They're both from Britain, they're both competing against each other in the same event, and they both have completely divergent beliefs, and they're fighting against each other, and who's going to win? Is that the movie we're making? No. Well, is it a movie about, dueling faiths? The one guy is a Christian, the other one's a Jew, but they both love running, and can they come together and train together and learn more about each other, and it's a stronger together kind of movie? Nope, not that movie. Is it about personal growth? We have these characters who have these problems. We have the guy who's conflicting with his faith. We have the other guy who's got a chip on his shoulder about racism, of being a Jew. Like, can these guys kind of overcome their own personal hurdles to become better versions of themselves and to grow beyond their... Nope, not that movie either. Okay, so it's like just a sports movie. It's about just the running, and like the other stuff is just a way to show the hurdles of becoming a champion in the Olympics. Nope, it's not that movie either. It's none of these movies, but it's all of them. They try to do all of these different things, but they do them so half-heartedly and they do them so lazily that none of them actually translate, none of them actually work. You know, they represent all these problems for these guys, but none of them have any real bearing. You have the Jewish guy who the deans of his school don't like him because he's a Jew, right? They're racist and they don't like him because he's a Jew. And they pull him into the office and they start scolding him for trying to do the Olympics, you know, to be in the Olympics and win the Olympics. And he says, I'm going to go win the Olympics anyway. And they just kind of shrug and go, okay. And that's it. That's it. Like, there needs to be real conflict. It's just a messy movie. And because it's so messy and because there's so much stuff going on and nothing's executed particularly well, it feels really slow. It feels really meandering. There's so much going on, but nothing's happening. And so with that, my final rating for Chariots of Fire is a 5 out of 10. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the best movies ever, lost to this movie for Best Picture. That is a crime. And I think it just underscores my feeling about the Oscars in general, is that the more of the Oscar winners I see, the more I realize the Oscars are just so meaningless. And as time goes on, it really shows what movies matter. And in this case, clearly Raiders of the Lost Ark should have won, because that's the movie people love, they still talk about, they still reference it constantly. And who talks about Chariots of Fire? Nobody. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about it because it's not a great movie. It's just not really worth the time of seeing it. You know, if you want to get the experience of Chariots of Fire, watch the first 5 minutes. Watch that scene of the guys running to the soundtrack, and you'll be Gucci. You'll be good. That's all you need to see, because the rest of it, it's just filler. Thanks so much for watching my review of Chariots of Fire. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.